Hey there, YouTube. Here is another installment of M365, and I have to say, I am kind of embarrassed. I've been doing a lot of things behind the scenes to prepare and get ready for these videos, and then realized I'm losing out on content that I could be sharing with you. So this video is going to be a video on how to make a simple list in SharePoint, and then what we're going to do is spin off a couple of welcome videos off of this. One of them is going to be welcome to Power BI, the other one's going to be welcome to Power Apps. So that is what we're going to do today. We're going to make a simple list, and let's go ahead and get started. We're going to come up here to the waffle top left corner. Yes, I'm going to continue using food references because when I'm not eating, I'm thinking about eating. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go under more apps. I don't see it in that list currently. We got all kinds of things available to us. And here's lists. Let's go to lists. And here we are. We're in lists. Yes, welcome to lists. See what I can do? No, I'm going to tell you all what we can do. New list desktop app. That sounds pretty interesting. Another time. We will go into the desktop apps as well. There's strengths, there's weaknesses, just like you would expect from anything else. So let's go ahead. And we've got one started. We're going to create a new list. This list is something, like I said, we're going to use in the Welcome to Power BI and Welcome to Power Apps. So let's go ahead and start with a new list. I'm going to do a blank list. That being said, there are a ton of possible and potential lists out there. I guarantee you with what we're going to be building for a list, there's not going to be one like that. I don't have a CSV file. I don't have something else to actually build the list off of. We're going to have to go from scratch. So let's go ahead and say reforestation. And then that before I go any further, best practice or tip number one during this particular video, we're going to be actually having reforestation projects. That being said, if I put a space here and then projects like this, that's fine and good, but when the list is created, the URL is going to have a reforestation %20 projects, and it's not going to be nearly as easy to read. If you want your URLs to be easy to read, you always put an underscore or the minus sign, if you will, between your spaces. Now, it's not as pretty, I get it, but you can always go back and put the space in where the underscore is later, and that is not going to change the URL. The URL is created on the first creation of that list. So let's go ahead and do that. The description is list of all projects around reforestation to include areas, costs, and tree types. All right, whoops, there we go. And let's see, let's give it a nice good green because that's what we're doing. The bug, that's fun, but let's go ahead and hospital. Now that is not what the doctor ordered. Bank, yeah, we're going to take this to the bank. Now notice this drop down, we have lists, my list. My lists, I don't know if you have seen my video, welcome to OneDrive. OneDrive is a SharePoint site, as I say to you in that video as well. That being said, my list is going to have all these SharePoint lists that you create in your OneDrive SharePoint site. So that's how it's tied in, and that's where that comes from. That's why it's my list. That being said, I do not want it in my list. I want it to actually be part of the M365 lessons in this case. So let's go ahead and create this. And we're going to show it in the site navigation. That means on the left rail, you'll be able to actually see the actual list that we create in that SharePoint site later on. I'm going to go ahead and create. It's going to take a moment. And here we are at our list. As you can see, there's not a lot to it. One of the things you're going to learn about SharePoint as well, especially when you're working with me in the videos that I'm going to produce for you, you can do the same thing in SharePoint in multiple ways. I can add columns here. I can make changes to columns from here as well. If I drop this down, I should be able to do things like edit and things like that. Column settings, so I can rename it. I can hide it. I can reformat it. There's a lot of things that I can do from here. I like to go old school, and you're going to learn as we go through these videos. One of the things is you have three best friends when it comes to using SharePoint online. 1, site settings. 2, library settings. 3, list settings. One of those three, depending upon what the scope of what you want to change, is going to come in handy. If you want to change something for the entire site, then you're going to go to site settings. If you want to go to do something specifically to a document library, you will go into the library settings. That is specific to that scope. Well, in this case, we're going to go to list settings, and we can do that up here in the top right corner. The gear, we're going to go to list settings. So again, the gear, top right corner, and we went to list settings. Remember how I said reforestation and then underscore projects? You can see here, reforestation underscore projects. I can go into list name description and navigation and actually change this so that there's a space in there. Going to go ahead and hit save. As you can see over on the left, now there's no underscore. It looks really nice. It's on the left navigation like I told you. And you can see the URL has not changed. The %20 has been replaced. It is as it was when it was first created. So we are good. Everything's in a very positive place. What we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and rename this. So we're going to rename title. Title's okay, but I'm going to actually call it project name. Excellent. We're going to require information in this one. Now, people say, what is unique values? Think of it this way. If I check yes on this, that means I have to have a project with a different name every single time. So, for example, if I have a project and, our business is around for 25 years and it's a Christmas tree farm is the particular project that we took on, well, over time, they're going to have to be reforested so that they can grow new Christmas trees. Well, if that's the case, then we'll probably have the same name, project name, as prior, and therefore we don't want that to be limiting to us. Or, in some cases, you're like, no, that's exactly what we want. We do not want a project name the same. And so what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and click this on, so we're good to go. And let's go ahead and continue on. We're not going to change any of these other things. Column formatting, we'll get into that. So column formatting, that's a little bit more advanced. That's more like SharePoint 201 or even SharePoint 301 for some people. It gets a little bit messy. It's possible, it's doable. We will definitely go over that, but that is going to be a video unto itself, just to let you know. So let's go ahead and hit OK. So indexed, yes, please index it. So one of the other things is, as you can see, unique values, it's enforcing. So as soon as I turn this on, it's going to have to actually make me index this column so that way it knows, hey, you already have a project with that name. No, 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 not happening. So, all right, we're good. So we got our project name. We need a lot more information than this. So let's go ahead and we're going to create a new column. And this column name is, let's go with number, I'm going to use the underscore again, of acres. There we go, number of acres. So this is going to be a number. That way we'll use the number. So the number of acres that we're going to actually be reforested. And we'll even in the description, how many acres of forest will be replanted. There we go. Uh, Now, it's very possible we may be starting a project, but we have no idea. We just took on the responsibility. Somebody hired our company. However, that being said, we may not actually know where it's at, how many acres. We're still in the planning phase. Maybe there's a whole bunch, but we may want to suggest that they let a certain area of acreage remain fallow for a couple of years due to really poor soil quality or something to that effect. Well, if that's the case, we may not know the number of acres that we're going to replant at that time. So we're not going to require it. We're going to scroll down. It's going to be a number, decimal place, automatic. That's fine. And I think we're all good here, so let's hit OK. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new column. It's going to be for the type of tree that we're going to grow. Depending on the forest, it's going to be different tree types. So let's go ahead and put tree underscore type. And we're going to actually use choice. The reason why I like choice over a single line of text is the following. Let's see, John Smith that I hired recently. John Smith is amazing and he's very by the book. He will put the capitals where they need to be, spell entire words out, whereas I'm a little bit excitable. I have too much on my mind. I don't know what I'm going to do for lunch. That jumps into my head and like, okay, now I'm hungry. And so what I do is I use abbreviations. I use all caps by accident, whatever the case may be. And so it's not going to be really good metadata for this list in the long run. So with choice, they don't have but the choices you give them, unless you allow down, as you can see here, you can allow fill-in choices as well. We're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and say, let's go with the white pine. And then we're going to go with fir. We're going to go with oak, maple, and birch. All right, there we go. Now, there's another trick that I like to use with this. One of the biggest ones is that I can grab all of these, copy that. Let's go into Excel really quick. Oh, blank workbook will work just fine. Not now. And let's go ahead and paste that in. Notice it's just like this. We're going to go into data and we're going to sort A to Z. Then we're going to copy that back. Then we'll come back over here. Make sure this is selected and paste. Whoops, we don't need the extra. And as you can see, now they're in alphabetical order. Kind of nice. It's a trick that I use. Again, I definitely want to give you tips and tricks, and this is one of my favorite ones. So let's go ahead and scroll down, drop down menu, radio buttons, or check boxes to allow multiple sections. In the case of reforestation, it is possible that they may ask for two similar type trees to give some diversity to the forest that they're replanting. For example, firs and white pine. As another one might be oak and birch, or oak and maple. So you want to be able to have that as a possibility. So let's go ahead with checkboxes, and I think we're good. Let's not have anything for a default value, and let's go ahead and for right now, let's go and require this. Let's enforce this. All right, and hit OK. So we got project name, number of acres, tree types. What about the cost? we need something for the cost. So let's go ahead and create a column. Now there's two different things. One is per tree, and then two for the entire project. So let's go ahead and start with the tree per tree. So cost underscore per tree. There we go. And we're going to go with the currency. Good. And let's go ahead and require. And then we're going to scroll down. Everything's good. United States currency is fine in this particular case. Okay, so we got our cost per tree. And then let's go ahead and create, see here, full tree count. And that's going to be a number. Let's go ahead and require that. And notice I've been skipping the descriptions. It's always good because when the actual form is being viewed by your employees or the people that you work with, go ahead and actually put that, because that'll give them a verbal hint as to what information you're looking for. And see, I brought that up. Let's go ahead and do this. So number of trees to be planted, usually no more than 25, yeah, let's go with 24. 24 trees per acre. That way they're spaced out, and you can have new growth as well. So as they start to mature and make trees of their own, so that is the way we're going to do it with this company. So let's go ahead and hit OK. And then let's go ahead with the total cost. There we go. That's what I thought. I thought I hit the underscore twice, and then that's also going to be, actually, we can figure out total cost automatically. And the way to do that is we're going to switch over to a calculated field. We're going to throw the equals first. For those of you who are whiz-bangs at Excel, you will love the calculated fields, because the same concept of formula applies to here as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a cost per tree, and then we're going to multiply it. So where's the little star at? There it is. And then we're going to be full tree count. There we go. So cost per tree, full tree count multiplied by, and we are good to go. So of course we're going to go ahead and keep that with the currency. Automatic number of decimal places, everything's well and good. I feel good about that, and I'm going to hit OK. If for some reason I did not do the formula right, it's going to let me know. Let's see if I did well. There we go. It was an easy formula, but you can see there. So now we get the cost per tree, full tree count, total cost. We have the number of acres that we are replanting. Let's do one more thing as well, just to add a little level of complexity to this. We're going to create a column, and we're going to actually say satellite underscore image. And then we're going to actually do hyperlink or picture. So we're going to do that. We're not going to require it because there might not be a satellite image of that. So let's go ahead and scroll down, and we're good. So I feel pretty comfortable with this list. And there's only one way of finding out, and that is to actually go ahead and one thing I'm going to do is there are multiple ways you can actually do images. You can either put images in the document library. I'm not a fan of that. You can also create another library for images specifically. You could also put it into the site assets library. So there's different places you can put it depending on what you're trying to accomplish, how many images. In a case like this, over time, we could have dozens upon even hundreds of different satellite photos. That's going to take up a lot of room. So let's go ahead and actually create a new library really quick. So we're going to create so add an app. And fortunately or unfortunately, I still end up finding myself going back to the classic experience because I hate to tell you that it's a thing. It's just a thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we are going to do this. Here's our picture library. And just like the list, I'm going to go ahead and say here, project satellite images. I'm going to go ahead and create that. Perfect. And then we can see it's right here. I'm going to go into the settings of the project satellite images library. And then we're going to clean things up a little bit. Like so. Like so. And I spelled satellite wrong. Spell check is my best friend, but because of the underscores, it didn't catch it. So, yeah, the URL is not going to be exactly correct. That's okay today. We won't tell anybody. Oh my goodness, that's way too. Yeah, that's yeah, 2Ls. Missed it by that much. Anyways, going back here, let's go ahead and upload our satellite image really quick. I'm going to upload a file. I think I put it in my, let's see here, it's in my downloads. We're going to do this. We're going to open. Wait for it. Now the reason why I'm actually waiting for it is because I'm going to want the URL for this. And the only way to get a clean URL for this is by the following. We're going to actually go in here and then view the original. So when you view the original, all right, and we're back. Fabulous. So now let's go ahead and create new. And for the project, Yellowstone partial reforestation project 2024. And the number of acres we're going to do is 120. Let's go with this, straight up 100. And they would like us to do both fir as well as white pine. Okay. Okay, and there we go. The cost per tree in Yellowstone, it's Wyoming, so we have a fixed price of $120 per tree. And then the full tree count, we have 100 acres, 24, so that's 2,400 trees that we're going to be planting. And then let's go ahead and do the URL, and then we're going to do alternative text. We're going to go ahead and do Yellowstone. All right. So we're going to do Yellowstone satellite 2024. Whoops, too many zeros. 2024, and I once again butchered satellite. There we go. And let's hit save. All right. I think we're looking good. So there you have it. And as you can see, $120 per tree, $2,400. The total cost is going to be around $288,000 for this particular project. All right. And so as you can see, we have created this. I will go ahead and not bore you with me trying to fill this out completely. Hopefully you have enjoyed this particular video. I will see you guys next time.